In this video, we are going to understand about the formation of mountains. But before going to the formation of mountains, let us understand some of the basic terms associated with formation of the mountains. Geomorphology. Geomorphology is that process which involves the physical and chemical interactions of the Earth's material with the different forces. These are the forces that are influenced by the climatic conditions as well as the nature of Earth's internal environment. So these include the variation in the temperature, the wind velocity, earthquake, weathering actions, and erosion. These geomorphological influences interact with the Earth's various elements result in the formation of landforms. Henceforth, geomorphology can be defined as the physical and chemical interactions between the Earth's surface and the natural forces acting upon it to produce the landforms. The processes are determined by such natural environmental variables as geology, climate, vegetation, and base level, devoid of human interference. Geomorphological processes are further classified as exogenic or external forces. These are the forces that are external to the Earth. These can be the wind, the variation in the temperature during the summer season, winter season, or other such climatic conditions, or the weathering actions or the erosion. So during the cool temperature, a material has a tendency to contract. For example, a rock undergoes contraction where the compressive forces are induced in it. Henceforth, there will be reduction in dimensions. Whereas in the warm temperature, the tensile forces act over the rock and there will be the expansion. So this expansion can cause an increase in the dimension of the rock or any material over the Earth's surface. So this is one of the example for the interaction of external or exogenic forces over the materials of the Earth. The other example include the high wind velocity. The high wind velocity carries the particulates in suspension, and when the wind velocity reduces, the particles settle down over the Earth's surface. So the settled particle aggregates and results in the formation of a loose soil. Let us understand what does weathering means. Weathering is the phenomenon where a rock has a tendency to break and dissolve under the various physical and chemical forces. So weathering can also be biological in nature. Chemical processes include oxidation, hydration, reduction, hydrolysis, and carbonation, whereas the physical processes involves the wind, variation in the temperatures, etc. The difference between the chemical and the physical is that the chemical process involves change in the chemical structure of the rock or any material, whereas the chemical structure remains unchanged. There is other exogenic process which is biological in nature, where there is growth of plant life in the rock, which has a tendency to split the rock into two different pieces or many such pieces. Next process is endogenic or endogenetic. The endogenic or the endogenetic forces are those which are within the Earth mass. So these can be the seismic forces which emerge out towards the surface, resulting in the formation of wide cracks in the form of earthquakes. So some of the endogenetic or endogenic forces that can be witnessed involves fault and faults, volcanism, and an earthquake. So all of these four are the effects of internal forces. Volcanism is the phenomenon of eruption of molten rock onto the surface of the earth or a solid surface where the lava emerges out onto the surface through a break in the surface. This break is commonly referred to as a vent. Then there is faulting. A fault is a fracture that is formed over the surface of the earth, which is commonly due to the movement of the earth crust. Next is folding. A fold is a stack of originally planar surface such as sedimentary strata that are bent or curved during the permanent deformation. Earthquake is the shaking of the surface of the earth resulting from a sudden release of energy in the earth's lithosphere that creates seismic waves. So these were the basic terms that were associated with the formation of the mountains. Let's now go through the formation of mountains. Mountains are formed when the two earth bases smash against each other in the opposite direction. It forms a buckled up structure which results in formation of mountains. An example of such mountain formation can be between the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate, which formed the Himalayan ranges. Mountains are classified as fold, block, volcanic, residual, or relic mountains. Fold mountains are caused as a result of compression due to the endogenic forces. The compression causes the upliftment of the sedimentary rocks. Anticlines and synclines are the part of fold mountains. Himalayas in Asia, Alps of Europe, Rockies in North, Andes in South America are some of the examples. Block mountains are formed due to the endogenic movement of the earth, which results in the tensile forces. Henceforth, faulting takes place. The region between the faults are called as horst and graben. Horst is the raised portion, whereas the graben is the downgraded portion. Sierra Nevada and Black Forest of Germany are some of the examples. Volcanic mountains are formed as a result of eruption of magma or the molten rock onto the surface of the earth. This magma is called as lava. The accumulation of the lava and its subsequent cooling down results in building of volcanic mountains. Examples include Mount Mauna Loa, Mount Popa in Myanmar, etc. Residual mountains are formed when the existing mountains are subjected to the weathering action or under the action of denudation. Portion of the rock is lost. The harder portion remains, which forms the residual mountains.